Hello, dear viewer. You're about to listen to an excerpt from a long talk I had with an expert on network and information security, Daniel from safing.io. In this part, we talk about Tor and VPNs and which one you should trust more. I hadn't expected there to be disagreements on this topic, but as you will see for yourself, we ended up having quite opposite views. The full part of this talk will be released this week with an early access to, surprise surprise, my Patreon page. Yes, my friends, I opened a Patreon account where you can support my channel and get access to more exclusive content. YouTube has been cracking down on my channel so hard that I'm earning less ad revenue than what I had earned when I had 20,000 subs. I think this happened right around the time when I made a video on Tulsi's lawsuit against Google and another one on how the US government claimed all the revenue from Snowden's book sales. I also cancelled my affiliation with NordVPN, so supporting me through Patreon is currently the only way. If you become patron, you'll get access to my video commentary analysis, some look behind the scenes and how I make my videos, and occasional blog posts and opinion pieces. I'm gonna experiment with this and see if I can upload 2 commentary videos a week. I will still be uploading my main videos on YouTube, but these will be my additional thoughts or opinions on matters that don't make it onto my YouTube channel. When I reach 200 patrons, I'll make a video taking political compass test that I will upload for all to see. Thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoy this debate on whether Tor exit nodes are better than VPN servers or private ISPs. So how about if I run Tor or a VPN on a compromised router, or somebody hacks my home router and I'm on Tor? Am I safe?
Well, that's except for the increased attack surface I mentioned before.
Okay.
Tor would shield you, or VPN in that sense, would shield you from a malicious, from the other aspects of the malicious, a public Wi-Fi or a hacked home router, because what these can do, just like the ISP, they can like see your whole web activity, and HTTPS in that sense is not enough because there's so much metadata involved. First and foremost, there's DNS, which is just starting to get finally become encrypted with DNS over TLS and DNS over HTTPS, short DOT and DOH. But then you still have TLS itself, which when connecting a server, it has to tell the server in an unencrypted way which domain you're looking for so that the server can serve you the right certificate. And that's why even with every TLS or HTTPS connection, your device will, in clear text, in plain text, send the name of the domain that you're accessing. And with a lot of domains, it doesn't really matter anymore what the content is, because if you go to cancerhealing.com, or if you go to I don't know what, democraticparty.com, well, it's really obvious what your interests are, and like it tells a story about you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all things that, like, your home router, the public Wi-Fi, and like every ISP your connection runs to can clearly see. And that's why people then start using Tor and VPN to get rid of that metadata aspect of that. And that's also a problem in another sense, because especially with a VPN, you just switch your ISP that you have to fully trust to a VPN that you have to fully trust. The VPN can't prove that it's not collecting all that data, just like the ISP is.
And maybe it's good to point out that most VPN providers don't actually serve their own servers. They're just renting them from other companies in other places around the world.
Yeah, exactly. So there are like multiple parties involved that could log everything.
Yeah. So there could be an argument said that you are actually increasing your level of trust with a VPN.
Yes. Well, I'd like to like explain it as like you're switching trust. You're exchanging trusting one company for trusting another company.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, that is a really good deal because the company that you're switching away from might be really shady and you're really better off with that VPN company. In other cases, it might actually be the other way around and the ISP you have is actually more trustworthy than the VPN you switch to using. So it's really an issue of trust and checking the companies that which services you use for their trust and what they're out for and what they believe in.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. Um, the one of the like security vulnerabilities of webmail end-to-end encryption is that um, it has to rely on JavaScript, and if somebody wants to compromise, your email account that is end-to-end encrypted, they can try to make you run a malicious JavaScript that decrypts your messages for the attacker.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like, one way to mitigate is could be that you use Tor so that they cannot guess your IP address based on which they would be able to inject a malicious JavaScript. Is this going to work, or are there other factors that need to be taken
Well,
into account?
yes and no.
Okay.
Tor is um, more effective at shielding your identity than a VPN is. But then again, um, one problem with Tor is that, especially if it's unencrypted connections, you're exiting the Tor network at the server of a random dude, and he can do whatever he likes with your traffic. And that's one aspect of Tor that I kind of dislike, where um, there's there's so much data flowing through Tor unencrypted that can be scooped up. And I think there was scientists a couple years ago, 5 or more, that scooped up a lot of credentials from embassies all around the world because they like to use Tor for privacy. But well, that didn't work out too well. And I think there was another scientist doing something in the same direction just half a year ago with a similar result. Um,
Hmm.
while we're up with HTTPS by a really big margin, that's great. There still is unencrypted traffic out there that's where passwords and usernames are transferred. This shouldn't be the case at all anymore, but there still is that problem.
So
So in one sense, yes, you shield your IP address better, but um, you are, instead of trusting a company, you're trusting random dudes, and I don't know if that's an improvement or not.
I don't think this is a fair assessment of how the Tor protocol works, because each layer of encryption on which Tor has three. I mean, each hop which Tor has three, there is a layer of encryption. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, Tor has three layers of encryption, and the uh like the each layer only knows where the request came from and where it's going, and it doesn't know the whole network. So I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
what you mean by
So
saying that
the
there
the
is a lot of unencrypted traffic.
the exit node will always see the traffic the same way that the rest of the internet sees it. And
They don't see
if it's
they don't see the entry node, which is an important point.
yes, the thing is, if there's if there's a username and password in plain text, you don't have to see the entry node because you're giving away that information about your identity in the connection.
Yeah, but that will be in case that the website is not using a TLS encryption.
That's correct. So, if you're using TLS HTTPS, everything's fine. But if you're not, then that's a problem with Tor.
But that's if you are not using TLS, it's a problem not just with Tor. It's a problem with everything, because if you are not using Tor, then your traffic is unencrypted on clear internet and can be seen and tracked by anyone that the traffic goes through.
That is true, but I tend to trust a company that I pay for protecting my data more than a company, or like not a company, but just someone hosting a server somewhere. I don't notice the people that host these nodes.
I'm not.
I have no relationship to them.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can actually prove that this is true, because when there is a company that has a business model of handling user data is one of the most sought after commodities in the modern world. Advertising industry is the fastest growing industry in the United States, and it is marginally the most profitable industry in the United States. It's actually more profitable than oil and the pharmaceutical industry, which has a lot to say behind it, because there is powerful interest behind oil and pharma. So, whenever you handle user data, everybody is coming after you. Everybody wants to offer you money to buy your users' data. And WhatsApp was sold for $20 billion, and it was an end-to-end encrypted app. Skype used to be end-to-end encrypted. It was sold to Microsoft, and now all of the user data is in the hands of Microsoft and then the NSA. So we've had plenty of cases of companies that promised protection and then they sold. And actually, a better argument is that everybody has a price, and at some point, every business owner wants to cash out. There is rare cases when it's like with LavaBit. And for those who don't know, LavaBit was an email that was used by Snowden or recommended by Snowden. And when the FBI or NSA tried to get the keys, encryption keys, so that they could read users' emails, the owner of LavaBit, the business owner of the LavaBit, decided to shut down the whole service. So he literally shut down email, so you were no longer available to log in. That's a very rare case. He destroyed his company to protect his users' data. But this is very rare, and it almost never happens. So I don't think that you can trust the company just because it's making money. It's actually the case that because it's making money, it's more susceptible to powerful interests trying to sell the data to users.
Well, that is true, but if that's a really good argument. It really depends on the company. So, if I look at ISPs in Austria, which have a very strict law and which all make enough money with what they do, so they don't have to sell data in order to survive, and then there are by law prohibited from selling any data of their customers' traffic, then I trust my local Austrian ISP more than I trust a random Tor exit node.
But the fear of the Tor exit nodes is way overstated, because if you run the Tor exit node, you mentioned that if there is no encryption, but there is encryption almost everywhere. It's very rare to stumble upon an unencrypted website. And Tor actually comes pre-installed with an HTTPS everywhere, which is going to force encryption. And you can easily change the setting to block all unencrypted traffic. So you'll never have this problem. And that's actually not a problem of Tor. It's a problem of the owner of the website that doesn't use encryption. So I don't think that you can make the argument that you're losing anything when you connect to Tor except for speed, because especially if you're connecting to an Onion server, because that's entirely hidden in the network, and you can make a server that not even like that, like the entire traffic is like completely hidden, doesn't know where it started, doesn't know where it ended. And the only way you could try to figure it out if you are a powerful global adversary like the NSA and you are observing the entire network and could potentially correlate the timings between entry connection and exit connection. And that would have to be targeted. You would have to be closely following your target. But the exit node, you said the exit node gives you access to do whatever you want with that traffic. I would like you to explain that, because what does it mean to do whatever you want? They can tamper with the traffic. They can change the traffic. What they can do? Can they make the traffic look like there's a malicious activity? To frame somebody, or what they can do?
So, just to get back to you on the other topic you mentioned, so you briefly went into the darknet topic, where Tor not only hides the client but also hides the server. And well, in these cases, of course, the traffic is fully encrypted because that's guaranteed by the Tor network, and that's a total legitimate use case for Tor, and a really good one if that's something that you require to use. Regarding the exit node traffic, so the last, if you build up a connection within Tor, the last node, the exit node, then peels off the last layer of the onion, and then it sees the traffic as it would have gone through the internet without using Tor. So, and if this traffic at this point isn't additionally protected with TLS, aka HTTPS in most cases, the Tor exit node can first of all read everything that's in there, but it can also launch a man-in-the-middle attack on that connection and do however it pleases. I must say, it's not that Tor exit nodes can't just do that at random, because there are several services that continually scan for bad exit nodes and will flag them as such. So you can't go and just in bulk attack everyone that's on there. But if you selectively target someone and have some kind of means of figuring out with the probability who that is, then of course you can attack unencrypted connections that go through the Tor network. As soon as it leaves Tor, it's just a normal connection again. There's all the protection that Tor provides at that point is over, except for not being able to tell what the IP address of the original client is.
Yeah, which can be an important factor when
it is a very important factor.
Yeah. Everything that can be said about an exit node can be said about any point on the clear internet without an overlay network like Tor.
Exactly.
So this is not a weakness of Tor, this is a weakness of design. At some point, if you are connecting to a clear net, which is not an Onion or darknet server, at some point the encrypted traffic has to be decrypted, because encryption has to be supported at both ends, and if it doesn't, it has to be decrypted. So when you have a VPN, the traffic is decrypted at the VPN server, which means the VPN controls in both encryption and decryption, whereas on Tor, the same person who encrypted your traffic is not the same person who carried your traffic, and it is not the same person that decrypted your traffic. So it creates it's a design with less trust and not more trust. I would say it's a
That is
more
true.
it's a more
It definitely is. Definitely is.
Okay.
I think the point I'm wanting to make is that I feel that Tor is just glorified into oblivion, and people are missing out important aspects that Tor is not the final solution to end all discussions about network security. It's really good that Tor exists, and Tor is a really good tool to use if you know what to use it for.
Exactly. That's an
And
important point. Yeah.
yeah, so not to like have Tor is the it fixes everything thing, and just blindly use it.
But if there is glorification, it is not coming from the Tor project or the developers of the Tor protocol, because they are upfront about the limitations of Tor. And
Yeah,
and this is
totally.
and this is unlike any VPN provider, because VPN providers, because they are businesses, they are overselling what they actually provide. They tell you that their connections will make you anonymous, which they never will, or that they will make you private, maybe somewhat, and they will make you secure. That is true. Like more secure. That is partly true, but because of TLS, that is pretty much rendered useless unless you're on a hostile network or a public network. But Tor never makes these claims, and never made these claims. Tor, if you boot up Tor browser for the first time, and any Tor application, basically, if it's properly implemented, that will tell you that it is not enough. Like, Tor will not make you anonymous if you share your personal information on a forum.
Exactly.
The way I like that the way to think about Tor is as a traffic analysis resistance tool. Traffic analysis resistance tool. And that's a very good term to describe what Tor does. It helps you be resistant to traffic analysis, which traffic analysis is a form of attack where somebody who's trying to observe your attack and observe your traffic and interpret the data and see what you are doing and see where you're going and use that information however they want.
Yeah, that's a very nice term. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.